thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
This morning, it's Memorial Day 2023. That's photos of Pat Tillman in his military and football uniforms. So just a little remembrance of him on this Memorial Day 2023. And good morning, Justin. How's everything out in Colorado?
It's good, man. It's good.
Are you off? Are you off today, or are you going to work today?
I'm thinking about it. I'm not. I'm in between right now. I'm waiting. My wife's still asleep, and I'm just waiting like for everybody to get up around here. So, see what she's got planned for the day, and then I'll kind of piggyback off that. I might go to the gym with her, and then I might go put in a couple hours, though. Maybe.
Yeah, well, for those on your Colorado Longhorns that served, I know you got a few military members. Tell them thank you for their service.
Absolutely.
Not too much coming out of Dolphin land other than they continue some OTAs, but really, not much. Just we're really looking forward to the season. And, it's been a long time since the Dolphins played football that count. So, we're all anxious. I think I saw someone were like 15 weeks away or something like that from the start, 15 Sundays away from the start of the NFL season.
Right.
So hopefully, this NFL season brings us a little more happiness, but I didn't want to make sure I remember Memorial Day for the people that gave us the right to watch football and enjoy football. And all of that, we could have been taken over years ago by different powers that wouldn't have all these nice freedoms that we have now. And so thank you for all you men and women out there that have served us. Big fins up to you. And thank you so much.
Just like that guy you showed 2 pictures of in the beginning of the show. He was a great football player, good special teams player, very hungry, fiery, passionate about the game of football, but also loved his country and served his country. He was a special forces guy. He was actually wounded and taken down by friendly fire
Yes, he was. That's really sad. I know.
He was in the line of fight though, so he was out there in the war. It was a tragic mistake. I remember when this all happened, everybody felt real bad. In fact, the jerseys for his stuff, either Arizona, I think it's Arizona State, or even the Cardinals ones still sell very well. So people really do remember this guy. He was a warrior. So
yeah, well, no, which is good, man. Because we sometimes forget about all the little things that give us a right to bicker on Twitter and bicker on social media. If it wasn't for all these guys, we wouldn't have that. So thank you so much.
Real quick, women, I want to touch on that real fast while you talked about it. Yeah, everyone gets on social media. You gripe, you complain, you bicker. And you're not the only ones. Have you ever seen the Mike Singletary cut? Can't coach with them. Can't live with them. Can't work with them. That's sometimes how I feel about a lot of things, because it's like you're spending too much time bitching and not enough time performing and doing what you need to do. That's why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, is to listen twice as much as you bitch. So shut the hell up and just let's do some things here and have fun. Everybody needs to stop getting so crazy on social media and all that stuff. No one cares, bro. No one cares. Like, let's all just have a good time, dude, and like enjoy the summer and have a good time.
I always tell you, it's best to ignore the people trying to do the trolling, because without us responding to them, they lose all their power. So it's just like, so it's just that's the thing. But anyway, on the Dolphins front, I haven't really heard anything. I've been hitting the Barry Jacksons, the David Furonas, even the national guys, really nothing coming out. June 1st will hit us this week, so we a little bit see more, maybe, it's just, but the Dolphins may feel they've already done their moves and whatever, unless something just falls into their lap that they're not even expecting right now. So we really know June 1st what we want to do with that extra money that comes. Are we all in, or do you keep it a little bit for that rainy day because players get injured during the season and you need to save some cap space to be able to bring those guys in? Or you're just like, oh, we're going to go all, balls to the wall, and we're signing up to the last penny and we're going to win this year. So,
well, I'll be honest, like we already signed our rookies, right? All our rookies are signed under contract. Am I correct about that? The 4 guys that we signed.
No, I don't think they are. I haven't. I would go back. I don't think they all are. I would go because we had to.
Well, you need at least 10 million for the rookies, and then you're
Right.
gonna want. Yeah. I know we got that coming up when we release Byron Jones, and that money takes place. It's weird how that works. It's like it's a June 1st like designation. But it's
Yeah.
not like no money really even ever turns around. It's just how they set the books up.
Right, how the cap is, right? It frees
Mhm.
up. Right. I know. It's just I don't know. Some brainiacs that came up with like, oh, what's this? It's just a way to give teams a little extra. It's
Flexibility.
like
Yep, absolutely. But I'll be
Yeah.
honest, I don't think I wouldn't. And I hate to say this and then happen, but if it does, it does. It'd be great if it did. I don't think we're going to make any other major moves. I think they're going to go into camp with what they got here. They might add on like 1 or 2 more. I don't see anything else coming out major unless something shakes down the vine later that we don't know about. We'll see.
And that's why I don't really expect too much on that front. And I did hear that Vikings are trying to rework Cook's contract. So, that may fall off the table because, like I say, if he ends up getting cut, that's one possibility. I could see the Dolphins trying to go all in and get him. But other than that, I just don't see much out there unless a veteran offensive lineman, like you said, you can always turn over the roster. If a veteran offensive lineman that gets cut by another team that we don't even think's on the radar right now, we're like, what? They released him. He's better than anyone we have on our roster. Then yes, I could see them swooping in and trying to pick up that guy. And,
yeah, especially a right tackle or a left guard, something like
Right.
that comes on the market that you want, and you want to mix with what you got.
Yeah, which they very seldom come on the market. That if they have any, teams are going to likely trade them before become. But if you can trade a future 7th round pick or flip a Cedric Wilson to get someone off your books, and they need a reason, whatever. There's always things that can work out.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the salary cap. So you never know. But yeah, for the most part, those guys just don't fall off trees. So teams hold them when they find them.
If you think about it, there's a guard out there right now that I want. I've been talking about him since the
I know,
beginning of free
Reisner or whatever.
agency. Yep, Dalton Reisner.
I know. You talk about him every day. So, but yeah, I mean, it'd be a great addition. I mean, at this point, anyone would be. Let's see. We got someone.
I don't think it could hurt. I don't think it could hurt any. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what's up, bro? Ender, what's up? Ender in the house.
Yeah, thank
After
you,
Memorial
Ender.
Day,
Same
bro.
to you. Thank you for joining us as always, Ender. I hope everything's doing well out where you are. Are you off today, Ender, or are you working? My job, I used to have to work any holidays unless it happened to be on your day off, but other people have the day off on. So it's just I wonder how like different jobs roll and stuff. Like
so on the holidays is where your line of work used to get crazy during.
Yeah, no,
holidays.
it would be very busy. Today would be if I was working today, I'd be very busy because
I'm sure you've dealt with numerous drunks, and you're like, dude.
Oh yeah, I'd be very, very busy today. I'd be knee deep in drunks and already at 10 a.m. and whatnot.
Oh, that's terrible, man.
I know. So because I worked in a beach community, so any 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, any of those beach holidays, oh my goodness, it was busy all day, nonstop. Worst thing was traffic, though. A normal where you could get to a call in like 1 minute takes 30 minutes to get to because the traffic's so jammed up that you can't even move. Even if you turn your lights on, you can't move on an emergency call just because you have nowhere to go. It's so clogged up, so it's just bad. Oh, I think Justin froze up on me, but that's the joys of live streaming here. So anyway, guys, if you have any family members or friends, neighbors that serve in the military, you can give them a shout out so we can thank them for their service. And as we wait for Justin to come back into the room, I'm going to remove him from the stream for a minute. Okay, Ender. Yeah, that's how my job used to be. I used to work on Memorial Day too, but I know some jobs out there, they get the paid days or whatever. So you are a shift worker like I used to be. So hopefully you don't have to work too hard. Hopefully it's it's all good and you don't have to work too hard. Ender, have you heard anything about the Dolphins? Because I've been pastering the news looking for anything Dolphin wise, and I can't not find anything other than OTA talk. Waddle coming in looking stronger. Here comes Justin. Hey,
Sorry about
Justin.
that.
Yeah, man, that's live streaming.
Yep,
I've
okay,
been asking. Ender's working, so he's like me, shift work out there. You
yep.
have the kind of job you could work 24/7 if you wanted, or whatever. You got the flexible hours, but you can choose to work or not to work, which is good in the modern day society to have jobs like that.
It's nice, man. Like usually I tell myself like I haven't taken a day off in like months, dude. So I'm like contemplating doing it today. But I'm like, I used to work in Surfside. That's cool, man.
Oh, that's
Like,
right down this. I worked in Sunny Isles Beach for over 20 years. So Surfside was a hop, skip, and whatever that was. Hop, skip, and a jump. Yeah, from my neck. And I would drive through Surfside often to take the back ways to the jail.
You're such a cool and calm guy, though. You make the perfect peace officer. The reason why is because like someone like me would be real frustrated. Someone's all drunk and being obnoxious. I'd be like, right to the ground you go. Let's go on here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely on this day. So yeah, I know that area. Where are you now again, Ender? I forget. I know someone. I think G-Man's in Connecticut, right?
Ender's in New Jersey, bro.
Oh yeah, you would know. You would know. So there you go, New Jersey.
He's in New Jersey Drive, bro. He's in that big city.
Oh, that's Surfside. I was thinking he was thinking Surfside, Florida. Okay,
no, I'm thinking Surfside, New Jersey.
Oh yeah, then yeah, he really was busy up there because we got a Surfside, Florida, which is a little town south of where I used to work. So okay, yeah. So when I hear Surfside, I think of Surfside, Florida.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's up there in New Jersey. Then yeah, that's a Surfside he's talking about. But yeah, no, it's crazy. Those towns are nutty, man. I'm sure it's packed. I wouldn't even go to the beach today. I don't care, no matter what, because like in Miami Beach today, they've been having an Air and Sea show and all that. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
I do not want to go get stuck in traffic on my day off.
That happens here in Colorado. Like me and the wife were talking about going and doing a hike, and we're like, well, Garden of the Gods is definitely out of the question. Like there'll be tourists at every spot we like to go hike at, so we'll have to go to like one of these like little hidden spots we know about and go do something. You know what I mean? Like
no, you can do. There's spots you can go to for sure. Like I mean, there's parts out west where I live that won't be that bad today. And but like the beach, everyone wants to hit the beach on these days. It's crazy. Well, Colorado, I guess you don't have to worry about the beach. Maybe you can find a lake or a river, but you don't have to worry about the. So are you near anything that the people go to, like some big park or?
Yeah, we live right down the street from the biggest park in the whole city, which is Memorial Park, and there's Prospect Lake there. People will be out there fishing today, biking.
Oh, I'm sure that'd be packed today. I'm sure.
Packed. That'll be packed. We live next to Garden of the Gods. That'll be packed. It'll be a little kind of crazy finding a spot, but we'll find somewhere.
Hey, Reggie Brown.
Oh, dude, there's the dog right there, dude.
There's a guy that's off today, and I know his career now, and he's off today. So
put a link in there. Reggie will get right in here. Reggie, come in. Get in here right now. Let's talk some Dolphins. Yeah, if you put a link in there, I guarantee you he'll come in.
Yeah.
I think this is his first
day. And that's
day.
Open for anyone that wants to join us here today.
That's his first day off. He's had, though, this is my buddy, Reggie Brown. Former Houston Oilers receiver. He's a principal though, and he's just now starting his summer, so he just finished his semester.
Oh, he's like old school Memorial Day start. My kid's doing my one son that's doing the high school system. Cool. The other one's in college, and he's been off for a couple of weeks already, but he's doing an internship, so it's not really off. But my other son still has a couple of weeks of the public school system.
So now maybe we get Reggie in here on a more consistent basis during the week, and we could all water cooler talk some Dolphins.
He's out and about. He's outside. Hey,
hello, there's my man. What's up, dog?
Thank you, Reggie.
What's up, family?
What's going on, man? What's up, fam?
How you doing, man? Hey, man, just doing a little yard work this morning, trying to. I work inside all the time, so when I get a chance to work outside in the grass and work in my backyard, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you enjoy it.
How you got?
That's awesome, man. And so your summer vacation starts now?
Well, I'm the principal, so I don't get a vacation.
Oh, yeah, no, you still got to go to the school, yeah.
but no kids are there, so that's a vacation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you don't have to deal with. Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know
Absolutely.
that
Happy
that makes it a
Memorial
lot
Day.
easier to
Happy
deal with.
Memorial Day to you guys and your families who've served, and let them know we thank them for their service, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So I had a question. Who's gonna win the running back room?
Well,
Oh man, you know
I
what?
think Mozart probably, but I still think that I want A Chain to get a lot of playing time because we always like break our rookie in so slow in Miami Dolphin land. I want this kid to be off the chain and just say, let's go. This, because he has a speed element that, it's going to be hard to contend with, I think. But I would think starter, which is so silly for running back because you know how they rotate
Right.
running backs all the time. But Mozart, I think, would be like maybe the starter. Is what I know some people lean Wilson.
What I think was interesting is I guess it's more of a Mike McDaniel's deal, right?
Yeah.
So we were expecting to do some of the San Francisco stuff, some of the crazy runs, get your guy the ball in space and let him run. And we didn't do a lot of that. So this year, particularly with A-Chain and particularly with Mike McDaniel saying he's going to be more conscious about the running game, I expect all of them to get some run, but I really expect A-Chain because, we didn't even do a lot of screens. I mean, we barely did any screens. We barely did any reverses. All the things that Shanahan thing go, we did very little of it. So with having A-Chain added to that and the commitment by McDaniels, I think it's going to be awesome, man.
I agree.
I agree. I hope so because
Yeah.
he's an exciting piece. He's so fast. He can catch the ball like Justin. I know, Justin, you want to say, but he is. I let you do. But Justin really loved him before the draft. I think he was his highest rated running back, or second highest rated running back. But so he was really soaked when we got him.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can go, Justin, because you scouted him the most.
I think the thing that brings it to the offense that he brings is like you said, it's a weapon. It's somebody who's dangerous. He's very agile, and he goes upfield fast, and he can run with a little bit of power that a lot of people aren't seeing yet. He's very low to the ground, which gives him a leg up right there. But I think you'll see a lot of like jet sweeps, reverses. You'll see a lot of I'd love to see screen passes, like you were just saying, slip screens, something like out there that the offensive line has to gel together in order for that to work. They have to be in timing, in sync together in order for these to work. But I think the thing that he brings to the Dolphins that we didn't have that we could use is the dimension of the running back out of the backfield, making him go play some slot, putting him in motion, making him just think about it like this. The 49ers like to use Debo in that fashion. I think the Dolphins are going to use A-Chain in the same fashion that the Niners use Debo, in motion as a sniffer, sometimes as a decoy. Sometimes you're giving him the rocks, But I think your first question, I think Mostert will be the starter, and I think they're going to use A-Chain in spells to spill out and like sub out for Wilson and Mostert to give them a breather. And then when they get packages that they like, they're going to use A-Chain to get them mismatches. And another big thing is too, if Chosen can get his self resurrected in his career, it gives us a receiver to put out. I thought the X's and the Z spots, and now you're able to slide Waddle inside of the slot. You're able to slide Hill into the slot, which makes him dangerous because in the middle of the field, you hear scouts and players talk about the slot position. Former Reggie Brown, you play down in there. It gives you an option go route, which is inside or outside, and opens up the whole field. Like, just imagine open up the inside or the outside to a Waddle or a Hill. You're going to get exposed. So I think it brings big dimensions to this offense. It could be really sexy if you could get it to gel right away.
Yeah. Well, it gives them it gives the offensive coordinator so many toys to play with. And how do you put all of those pieces together, right? You can just toss shit up on the wall, right? And just in the dirt and go run it. The other thing I think that's been important is that they're saying that A-Chain is getting up to, about 200 pounds,
Yes.
So in this, his body was talked about, running track and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So he stayed relatively light, but getting up to 200 and being able to, deal with the physicality of the game. And then, 10 pounds, you don't lose a step with that, especially with a guy like that, man. So
No.
I'm excited. I think the biggest thing that we have to look for is the maturation of Mike McDaniels, right? That's a draft pick in itself to be going from the first year to the second year where, he made a lot of mistakes. Let's be honest. I mean, he did a great job as a first-year quarterback, but there were some mistakes with clock management, play calling, challenging, et cetera, et cetera. Having Vic Fangio now to help him with those things. And then just the second year, he's such a cerebral guy already. So, he's self-scouting himself and going back and kicking himself and saying, man, I should have made all, I should have did this, that, and the other. To now see him in the second year with even more toys, like you said, with the Chosen, with our chain, with a Tua in the second year, Waddle, Cheetah, all the second year, man. It's gonna be nuts, man.
It's gonna be nuts, man.
I agree.
I
agree. I just hope it's not us Dolphin fans getting too excited again like we have in the past. Because I remember when we got Filler a couple of years ago, we're like, oh my God, Filler in this offense is gonna. I mean, he hardly ever even saw the field, So it's just like.
But the thing is, the difference is, and I think in some spaces we've been having this conversation. In past years, we have gotten excited about a player, right? You correctly say, well, we added Fuller, right? So this year we're getting excited about the team when we know we have a top 12 to top 5 defense somewhere in that area, right?
Yes.
We know our offense. Even we look at our special teams with maybe Barrios doing some punt return, Archer kick return. You look around our team, and it's not just about a player anymore. It's about a whole team. It's about
the team, like you just said. We're all excited about that.
Yes, belief in the coaching staff, right? The entire coaching staff. You don't see any deficiencies on the offensive side or defensive side. Special teams, it's all of that really makes this year very, very different.
Yeah, let me ask you a question because I haven't talked to you in a little while about this. What do you think the biggest Dolphins acquisition of the season is? Because I know what me and Rob think.
Well, I think it's dual. I think it's McDaniel's second year and Fangio.
Fangio, right? Yep. Yeah. I agree.
I think both of those things.
Yeah, no, I agree. McDaniel learning's a good, that's a good improvement too. I agree.
Reggie was just talking about right there. Me and Rob have had this conversation as well about the Fangio kind of sharpening the iron of McDaniel a little bit and be like, hey, you can't do that right there. Don't do this in that spot. Not only that, my buddy R.L. Lyles, who gets on here all the time, was talking about the Fangio effect as well. And how was our defense, can it help scout? Can it help self-scout our offense to go up against defenses that are just like his? And yes, it can. It could self-replicate itself. That way you can make yourself better in two areas with one guy. So we're basically knocking two birds out with one stone right here. So I kind of like this. It's something that we can build upon. And another thing that I want to touch on real quick about the difference between last year and this year, especially when it comes to the running game. Mike McDaniel has publicly came out himself and been like, you know what? I should have ran it more, especially third and shorts. And just like I preached all year last year, 3rd and 6, I'd be running. Anything 3rd and 4, I'm definitely running. Like that. You're going to run the ball. But the biggest part to take away from all of this is the tight end room is completely changed into tight ends that are Mike McDaniel picks. He wants these guys for a reason. And the reason I'm thinking that I can see from right away on film, all of them can block. All of them can literally inline block. They can block. It's going to make the running game that much more better. I don't remember how many times last year on film I came back and was like, Mike Gesicki's getting beat. Oh, damn, he's beat again. Oh, damn, it blew up the whole play and the run is over. Well, that's not going to be happening no more. You should have a little bit of a crease there and some holes for the running backs to run through and gain more success. Now, as far as using him as like a weapon in the passing game, you could probably do that. And I think that's the whole infatuation with bringing in the Higgins. And I don't know if he's going to make the roster right off the bat. I don't know if he's coming up to speed in the offense. I just know it's hard the tight end spot's hard to learn in the NFL. But the kid can bring you a physical weapon that you could have a mismatch nightmare down low, because there's probably not a linebacker who's going to be able to run with him, and he's out physicals any corner. Then the same thing with A-Chain is not one single linebacker in this league can run with this dude one.
Oh no, no one can. That's for sure. They're not going to be able to run with him.
No
Well,
way.
I think too that one of the things that you think about last year's running game was the rotation was a tail, right? So
Yeah.
Oh
if
no, for sure.
Gesicki
If
was in the
Gesicki was in there, forget it.
yes. Well, leaving Durham Smythe in there is not a tail, right? He
Nope.
is serviceable in both the pass and the run game. Right?
Right.
So that in of itself, again, that's why I keep going back to the team concept of what we do with the Dolphins. That our team is constructed now where we don't depend on anybody as much as we depend on everybody just doing their job, right? If everybody does their job, we're going to be a really, really good football team because you have so many different pieces. I mean, you look at the defense and what Fangio is going to be able to do. Where last year the B room was a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
Now, it may become one of your best rooms on the team because of the additions that we had. You look at the linebackers and how we sort that up. And I'm going to tell you, Aubrey Miller, man, I've seen this guy play for 2 years, man. I'm telling you, he is a nightmare. He's going to make the team. And but even the linebacker room, clearly our D-line room, I mean, you don't even have to talk about those guys and the way they get after
animals, man.
Again, I just think the whole team concept, like while people are on Twitter are still Tua.
Right.
Yes and no, man.
He's the lightning rod for sure.
We better be looking at this team, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the Aubrey Miller kid, I'll be honest, I've been dissecting and going back and watching. I just watched, I think it was the Independence Bowl or something they had, and I'm going through getting some of his tape and putting it on. I'm getting ready to do something with it. But I like him, man. I really do. He's strong at the point of attack. He hits when he hits. He usually drops a guy. There's a couple things he needs to work on in his game, but that's everybody. Of course, he's maybe a little slower to diagnose the plays. He needs to get a little bit bigger, and he will in this level. But when I look at his game, I think this is a direct replacement for someone like a Jerome Baker. Their games are similar. They very much match.
And he seems to have a real passion for the game, is what
he does. He does. He's a football player, just like Doc said. He's a football player. He wants to get down and dirty. He likes to hit you. He's a great run defender as well. So yeah, he's gonna make the team. They gave him a nice contract, but I see this as a replacement for someone else down the line. Like moving forward, maybe not this season, but maybe moving forward next year, someone else is gonna go, and Aubrey Miller can step up. Other than that, man, I think I agree with everything Reggie said. I mean, the defense is looking stout. You might have a top 5 to 12 defense.
Yeah.
Now, if the offense can start coming around and start producing the points, you can start playing more complementary football. You have the new tight end room. You have running backs. I know we didn't do everything we wanted to do at the beginning of the season and free agency with the offensive line, but we can't say they're not trying to stack it up around Tua. Within the last 2 years, they've added 7 free agents. So they're trying to reverse philosophy here and go from not drafting them and not hitting on them to drafting or, paying for some free agents that are veterans that they know what they're going to get.
Well, I think that you have one more move in you, right?
Yes.
It's the elephant in the room that everybody sees, and whether it's a tackle. And I'm of the opinion that to me it doesn't matter which one they fix. Just fix one up. Get the right guard or the right tackle together. No team is perfect. I think that the biggest issue is that we've been talking about the offensive line hasn't been good since one of what's the twins' name? Mike Pouncey was the right. So, but we have 3 of the 5 pieces, right?
Yeah, you got right
3
now.
of them. So in my mind, fix one of them. Find one, and maybe he's in house. Maybe Wynn is the guy. But let's get that right, and then I really, in my old age, I'm trying to start looking at this more objectively. Back in the day, is we gonna beat your ass and I don't care and this and that. Now,
I know that's what we always do. But with that said, I think we all agree the Dolphins are improved, but unfortunately, the Jets are improved, and the Buffalo Bills are still the beast of the East until someone takes the crown from them. So where do you think we rank them up? And not, and you can't even write off the Patriots because they may be a thorn in some team's side too. So it's really going to be there's no cakewalk in our division, is what I'm trying to get to.
Facts. And anybody who thinks that is crazy, right? And
Yeah.
so it's hard to predict. I think the winner of the division is going to be 4-2. Of the 6 games that we play in the division, I think if you come up out of there with 4-2, because it is what it is, man. Josh Allen is still Josh Allen.
That's right.
That Jets defense is still formidable. Had an All-Pro and Hall of Fame and Aaron Rodgers, and for people to just dismiss that is just absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
That's what people do. But I still think that if you, and this is where I go back to the one reason why, if I'm objective, I lean to the Dolphins. I say Tua stays healthy, we should come out of there because again, the additions that we talked about, the addition of Fangio, the addition of Mike, I mean, all of these additions, and the addition of being a second year in an office, addition of a climate and culture that you've created, all of those things really matter. And I think you look at with the Heat now, tonight will be amazing, but that climate and culture, man, people dismiss that, man. It is a real thing.
That's a real thing, man. That's a real thing right there he's talking about.
And what
I
we're
agree.
doing is really huge in our culture, climate and culture.
So do you still think the Heat have a chance tonight, or are they more? Do you think they'll show up and play?
I think Jimmy has to be him, and has to will us to win. That's what it's going to take. Him being the guy and really willing us to win. Boston has had a better basketball team overall, if you look at it on paper. So now it just comes down to Game 7, which is
anything can happen, right? Like I said, I'm not a huge basketball fan, so I let Justin and you guys know that you're my knowledge on there. But like I said, I'm not a huge hockey fan, and it's been fun to see the Panthers all of a sudden play.
I'll be honest,
watching
man,
them play well. So
I can't believe the Heat have let them come back and tie this thing up. I'm utterly shocked and amazed. The last game they blew, man, I was in a game at the Longhorns game, and I'm on my phone. I'm like, no way! Oh, and they blew it, man. And then I was like, man, this Game 7, it might be over. But in my mind, I'm like, this series has been so wild. Watch. I'm just saying this right now, and you heard it here first. Miami's gonna win tonight.
Oh yeah!
Oh, wow, look at you.
Yep, Miami's gonna win.
Just don't put money on it, Justin, because every time you put money on it, the Heat lose.
Right? Yeah. No, I think Jimmy goes for like 45. I think Bam has a really good game as well.
Man,
the Heat win by like 2-3 points.
Well, I know your Nuggets are already in, so you're happy.
Yep. You know what? It's crazy. We talked about this and brought this up, but it's crazy. I know they're two different sports, but the philosophy is kind of the same. The Nuggets have been built all through the draft with Jokic, Murray, Porter, and then we added some veterans the same way the Dolphins are doing right now. We have Tua, we have Waddle, we have Jalen Phillips, we have Christian Wilkins, we have Juwan Holland. You know what, Reggie? What do you think about the Cam Smith guy? Is that like the dude they were like, hey, he's too good on the board, we have to take him, we need him? Like, what do you think the whole infatuation with Cam Smith?
Well, I think that the philosophy that you and I talked about earlier in the draft process is the Dolphins were really in a position to go get the best available guy.
Yeah.
At a position of need, right? So
yes,
I think that they saw him, and I think that they believe they can control some of his off the field stuff with the climate and culture that they're creating down there. So, I mean, you had to go get that guy. I mean, he automatically walks in and becomes a day one player, not necessarily a starter per se. He'll be on the field day one, and he'll get some run, and they'll move him around. And everybody knows what happened to us last year in So having that guy who's able to play, I think it lends itself to this bigger issue of, as these contracts come up, and as we start to, because there's this turnover, and I don't see this as, some people are saying we're in a 2-year window. I really don't see it that way. I see where we have enough young players to just continue now to reload, fill in the blanks,
Right.
rather than, if we don't win, we blow the whole thing up. I don't see that space.
Yeah,
Right.
I see it the same way you do. Like, say we're lucky enough to one day in all three of our lifetimes hoist up that Lombardi trophy. I see it as them being able to reload it, like you said, and just keep this thing going, keep this thing moving. Let's just keep going.
Have a core of young guys, but then
Yeah.
the guys that gave the big bag of money to move on or whatever, because they gave
got it.
Bradley Chubb, Ramsey, those guys a bag of money, but
Exactly. But we already have like that young core now. Like
right, we got the young core, so that's good. We have a good combination right now. But
I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Dolphins just need a little bit of luck from the football gods to bless us with like one of these guys like a Ryan Hayes or someone like that to like blow up on the offensive line and us develop our own offensive lineman. And I think the stars the limit from right there. Doc, what do you think of the possibilities are of the Dolphins adding maybe like just a little more beef to the defensive line? I know we were lacking a true nose tackle right now. What do you think the possibility of like a Linville Joseph or an Akeem Hicks or something like that?
Well, I think that one of the things we have to remember is Fangio said last year all he did was look at film, right? And he came up with all of this stuff that he could do, right? So I'm wondering what is he saying and how does he see, because he has a style of play, but he has tweaked it everywhere he's went, right? So Denver was not totally like what he did in Chicago, right? And all of that. Correct. I'm wondering, but the Byron Jones money comes up, and I think you sprinkle it around. I don't necessarily see us making like a big splash, but I do see adding a piece on the defensive line. Maybe seeing if there's an O lineman out there who can come in and compete. You know what I mean? And really, that's it. I mean, I don't see us needing very much. We have, barring injuries that decimate a particular position, but I'm confident that with the D line that we have, even though what can Fangio get out of Raekwon? Does he resurrect his career? Does he? This is this his money year, Raekwon?
Yeah. This is his third year he's coming into. Yeah. So
I think this is it. I think he has to have a contract by the end of the year. This might be his contract year.
Yeah. So can he resurrect that? But I think even though we might be a little light up front, the dog and Sealer and can play that position with the dog that he has. You know what I mean? Like because he gonna fight. I don't care who in front of him. He gonna fight. Yeah, so I'm confident with what we got. That adding a guy, yes, but I believe they'll figure that out. I don't see it as a big deal.
Neither do I. I think that honestly, I just think those would be like cherries on the top if you were to add like Linville Joseph and a Dalton Reisner. I'd probably turn around right away and take the odds on that 6 plus 6,500 for the Dolphins to win it all. Right? I would probably take a little gander in there, but I just like to see a little bit more beef on top of what we already got because I don't think it can hurt, especially with the offensive line. As many little like knives you can bring in to put on the fire and sharpen the next guy up, I think it's going to help.
Rob, what did you make of the conversation of Van Ginkel going to linebacker?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, I think he's stalled up. He's paused up. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's something that they're looking to fill, like a spot right there, just in case they need him. Like if Baker goes down, and especially because of David Long.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear. We can hear you now, but there you are. Now you're back.
All right, yeah, my internet went out, and it's saying now it's telling me low connection. But anyway, I like Van Ginkel's move over there because he is a versatile guy, and we do need help there. So if nothing else, it provides depth because last year that's another position that we were very low on depth at. So any guys that can play multiple positions, and I think he's good. And for whatever reason, I know we traded for Bradley Chubb was the main reason, but his snap count fell a lot last year. I mean, he's been productive every time the young man gets on the field. He's productive, but he just became part of the numbers game and kind of fell to the wayside. So anything that can help him get on the field more, to me, is a positive. So I just wanted to get him on the field more because he makes plays when he's out there.
No, he does. He does make plays.
Yeah.
I actually have a buddy who played. He's like best friends with Andrew. And scouted and like had his whole family and everybody over to his house and was trying to get Andrew Van Ginkel to go to Iowa where he played. His name's Brandon Schneider. He played safety for the Iowa. And he was like, oh, man, we were trying to recruit him and everything. But Wisconsin was just a better fit for him. And that's where they ended up going. But he says he knows Andrew very well. And I kept asking about him. This was like a year or two ago. He told me that you just now seen what Andrew could possibly be. And he told me that Andrew's even better than what we're getting out of him right now. And he just needs to get more comfortable into a spot. So I think there's more meat on the bone in an Andrew Van Ginkel, in my opinion.
I do too.
Yeah, I think that a guy like him, like you said, Rob, he just makes plays when he's on the field.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So being at linebacker, I fully expect wherever they put him, he's gonna make plays.
Yeah.
He
basically helped us win the Chicago Bears game if he doesn't have that, so it's just like, he makes play. I wasn't against the Chargers a couple years ago or whatever, or the Rams, one of those that he made a big play. So
I don't think people realize this, but he's scored 2 defensive touchdowns so far in his career. One of them was the block punt you just mentioned in Chicago.
Right.
And then he had an interception for a return. He had a scooped fumble for a return, but he almost had scored on an interception last year. He was down at like the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Yep.
It seems like the guy has about 3 or 4. I mean,
he could get it, dude. I'm telling you. And the thing that I think the infatuation with the coaching staff is it's one more guy who can play hook, flat, curl. That hook, flat, curl thing is something they want to drop dudes into zone, and they want guys down there who are experienced with it. Like, I think Andrew Van Ginkel did that at Wisconsin. I've seen him do it a little bit for us. So, yeah, I think that's a role for him.
Yeah, I think that'd be great to see him, just like I say, see him on the field more. And before I forget, guys, like and subscribe. Tell a friend that Justin always says, and make sure you give us a description. I'm getting close to 200, guys. I know it's a lot smaller than most channels on here, but we all have to start somewhere. So thank you so much for coming here all so often. So anyway, Reggie, now that you're like kind of summer, I know it's not you have any big, are you going to travel at all this summer or you're just going to be going to the school as normal?
No, I'm from Miami. I just got off the phone with my mom. I'm going to go down there. Every time I go to the Keys and get a deep sea fishing trip in. I'm a huge fishing man. So
I love fishing too. So that's cool stuff.
So I'll get down and get a fishing trip in. Me and my wife will go probably we were talking about going 2 or 3 days at some point, flying over to Puerto Rico for a few days, and hanging out a little bit over there. And then, these kids are always on my mind at that schoolhouse. So even when I'm not working, I'm working. I'm always thinking about them and wanting to see them do well, man. And we just finished this year off, on a positive note, and now it's quickly turning the page and getting after it, man.
What's your middle school? What is it like? Is it the same as Florida's middle school, like 6th, 7th, and 8th, or is it?
Yes, 6th, 7th, and 8th. There, I have about 1,400 kids at my school, 100 teachers. And I live actually 5 minutes from my school, so my kids went to the school that I'm now the principal of. My daughter is an 8th grader going to the 9th, so she's been with me at school for 2 years, 7th and 8th grade.
That's
so that's
special, man. That's awesome.
Crazy at the same time, She want me to talk to her sometimes and don't talk to her. She's had to deal with, your daddy, the principal, and
Oh,
all
I
that.
know. Yeah.
But it's been cool. It's been really, really cool.
No, that's cool. I was just wondering, yeah, because when I was a kid, and same with you when you were a kid, it was different. Like elementary went through sixth grade, then
Yes.
when it was junior high school, we didn't call it middle school. It was junior high school,
Yeah.
and that was
Uh-huh.
seventh, eighth, and ninth.
Same
And then
here.
senior high school was
Yeah.
10th, 11th, and 12th. I liked it better that way, but maybe that's because but my kids are going through the way, they went through how it is now. But I don't know. I just liked it when I think it gave kids a little more time to mature in elementary, that extra sixth grade year. And then,
I totally agree with you.
yeah.
The sixth graders, I don't think are ready for the middle school environment with eighth
I
graders.
remember as a seventh grader, when I first went to my eyes were all wide. There was like kids smoking on the side. There was like this and that. And I'm like kids with mohawks and kids with beards already. And I'm like this little, it took me forever. But I'm like, oh my, I was like so wide eyed on my first day. So I can imagine as a sixth grader what I would have been like. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah,
So
but man,
it's
my
like
boy Reggie though, man, he's a true warrior down there. As you can see, he's saying, "Hey, even when I'm on my own vacation, my mind is on my kids," and he wants the best for these children, and like we need to respect and give shout outs to warriors like Reggie who are down there helping educate all of our children and helping them grow into good young men and women. Like without guys like Reggie, we wouldn't be able to have that kind of thing. So Reggie, I give you props. You're my dog. You're helping these kids grow, and it just makes me love you even that much more, my dog.
And yes, Anthony, you're in Houston, right, Reggie? You're in the Houston area?
Yeah.
So yes, Anthony, he's in the Houston area. But no, that is great, man. It's just,
that's awesome, bro.
It is. I mean, school, everything's so important, and like I said, the military who we're honoring today with our little banner up there. Teachers, the police, first responders, nurses, without truck drivers, all the careers we kind of just take for granted that our society wouldn't run without all these people doing their job.
Right.
So we just
Rob,
sometimes take things.
Rob, one more quick question for you. Talk about X a little bit.
Talk about what?
X.
Oh, yes. I think he's gonna. I think he's going to bounce back, and I think he's going to be. I know last year was kind of off. He was still okay, I guess, but I think he's going to be back. And I think with Ramsey helping him on the other side, and Fangio having more different, looks, and him having to worry about covering a young speedster one-on-one, with a zero blitz. Now he's going to have help, and I think that's going to be a big. Oh, I think we lost him real quick, but. That's what I think. How about you? What's your take on that? Do you agree that he's going to probably have maybe a little more of a rebirth this year? But in Fangio's
I think he'll have a bounce back year. I think he'll play better than he did last year. Like you just mentioned, he'll have Ramsey on the other side of him if that's the defense they're going to run. Because I think you'll see Ramsey, like I said, dropping back into that star jack safety role. And Cam Smith out there playing a little bit more, like Reggie was saying, he's more plug and play. If we need to, you go ahead and put him out on the island with Xavier on the other side. Now you're able to move Ramsey around and be like, "Come on, what do you got?"
I know. I think Fangio's going. He's another guy that should benefit from Fangio. Hopefully,
yes, he will. I think one of the biggest linebackers that'll benefit from being in a Fangio system is going to be Jerome Baker. Jerome Baker should be able to put his athletic ability to the move here and make plays. He's still got to concentrating on tackling. It's getting better. So I think sky's the limit for this defense. I think the defense, like Reggie said, it's top 5 to 12, no matter what. Fangio will get them to produce.
No, I agree. I think Javon Holland's going to have a good year this year under,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me is, those guys we have, 3-4 guys is how fast does Brandon come back to really help the safeties? Is Nick Needham, how fast, where is he at in his rehab process? All of those things for the depth. Certainly Cam will be able to stand in the gap should they not be ready to go.
Yeah.
But Nick has always been a favorite of mine. just a guy who, just through the odds.
I like it. No, I like him too. Yeah, he did. He beat the odds, and I mean it's great. Just like Cater Cole, who last year beat the odds. he played meaningful football in his rookie years, being undrafted. The Dolphins called upon him, and I know some people put up, oh, he kind of messed up. I mean, for him to be out there playing for a playoff caliber football team in critical situations in the game up there against Buffalo, and some of those calls they called on him were, maybe by technicality, but they were like a little wish-washy because they had let Buffalo mug us a couple of times and they didn't call it. And then on him, they throw that flag quick.
Because he's young. That's why.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that, that's something with Boyer's offense, and I think to some degree, they just wouldn't look back. For the life of me, our DBs would not look back when the ball was in the air. So hopefully that's something that Fangio gets.
Yeah, they pound it in their head, right? I know.
Yeah.
Referees look for that. Even though you do the same amount of hand, they go, well, at least he was playing the ball. Sometimes it looks like we were playing the receiver.
Yes.
And then, so I think being the zone defense is going to benefit X a lot more because of the fact that he's a killer bee, having to do man-to-man with the amount of injuries he had the past few years.
I agree. And then what he's saying is he's up there in age, so the man-to-man is harder on his body than dropping back and being a lurker and lurking and giving your eyes into the backfield and playing zone. I agree with him. Like Fangio plays both, so he will do a lot of man, but he also will play a lot of zone. He plays both.
But here's the thing that's going to make him so good in zone. The thing about X is he's always been able to read routes, right?
Yep.
Right. He would jump a route for sure.
Right now, sitting in that zone and being able to read, and he does a great job, particularly prior to this year, of lulling the quarterback to sleep, baiting them into making it throw, and then taking it. So I expect him to have a lot of picks this year as well.
So do I. I expect Fangio to play a lot of cover 2 lurk. Cover 2 lurk is where they'll like sit back like a little bit softer, and their foot movement stops. They just stop and they lurk and they just sit and watch. And when he does that, he'll jump a route and bam to the house with.
Well, I think there's going to be, and there may be some missed plays that you're like, oh my God, he missed the ball, and then the receiver turns it upfield. But it's going to be a defense that creates some plays too. So it's going to be fun, and it should be fun to watch. You got a few ball hawkers out there now that's going to be out there because Javon Holland, his true trait is being a ball hawker. Last year, they kind of took that away from him and asked him to do different things and what he's good at. But, because his rookie year, we all had him ready for all pro potential. And then last year, he took a step back just because I think, not because of his ability, but because of the situation. Like Brandon Jones went hurt, so they had him do some of it. And that's not what he does best. What he does best is play the ball.
So if you really think about it, the whole defense is loaded with ball hawks. You got Xavier, you got Ramsey, you got Javon Holland, you got I know that the strong safeties aren't as big as Hawks, but you got Cam Smith, Nick Needham, Cater Kohu was known for in Texas, where he's from, as being like the area code where you don't throw it over to his side of the field because he'll pick it. So all the defense is loaded with Hawks, and now we got pressure coming up front with Chubb. We got Phillips. We got
as long as you can generate that organic pass rush, I think we're going to be very tough. That's where it's all. If they can get that organic pass rush without having to blitz all the time. Now, Fangio will blitz, like he said. He's just not going to do it like where Boyer almost did it because he felt like he had to. Fangio,
we were the number one blitz team last year. We blitzed more than anybody else in the NFL last year. The Dolphins were number one.
Right, and then eventually that's easy to beat when you know it's coming. It's just like because these are NFL guys and they know and they go, oh, here comes the zero blitz again. Because I would give Flores a little more credit because at least he would disguise it sometimes because he would drop in and drop out and he would stack them all up and then would. But Boyer has just got to the point you knew it was coming and these teams knew how to beat it.
It's the same thing that Reggie just mentioned about Mike Gesicki, and I've said this for years. I've told my buddy Bruce Ham, anybody on Twitter who would listen to me, I'm like, when Mike Gesicki comes out on the football field, all the defense knows it's a pass. It's a dead giveaway because he can't run block. So, like, I think that would hinder our offense, you guys. Having someone in there who's a dead giveaway, just watch it. The New England uses him the same way we were trying to. As soon as you see him come out on the field, you should pass. Everybody will be calling out pass because it's a dead giveaway when that dude comes out on the field. You can't have indicators like that. No way.
I know, no, because it's such a tough league to win in. And when you give another team an advantage, knowing that basically tipping your hand on what you want to do, because it's not like the 70s, like when the Dolphins used to be able to say, we're going to hand it to Zonka, and they could basically tell them, we're going to hand it to Zonka, and you're going to try to stop them.
The key words are you're going to try to stop.
You can try to stop it, but those days are over now because everyone's so on elite level that you can't be given because they will take away what you can. Those are just crazy. I mean, with that line, Larry Little, and all those guys, Langer, there's Norm Evans, like with Larry Zonka and Mercury Morris, and
hell yeah.
Those days are gone. I was too young to be, but just when I read, it gives me goosebumps about that.
Let me ask Reggie a question real quick, since we have picking a former NFL player's brain and he knows the game. What do you think would happen if we were able to bring back a running game, not like the Zonka kick era, but kind of like it, and be able to be like this like kind of a power running game, and like, hey, when we want to run, we can run and shove it down your throat. When we want to pass, we can pass. What do you think that can do for the overall team?
Well, I think that we, in spurts last year, we had that, right?
Yeah.
What was it? The Buffalo game.
Sure.
We had that. So I think we have that in the making with the scheme. It certainly is not a power running game. It's more of a finesse, but with the speed. And Mostert, I thought, had Mostert stayed healthy, he would have been 1,000-yard back last year. I mean, you think about the fact that we flirted around with Edmonds early on and all of that, that whole transition. If he would have went in as RB1 and stayed RB1, he would have been 1,000-yard back. And even with the fact that we didn't run the ball much.
Right.
So we averaged, when we ran it, the average was good. So
that's what's surprisingly that he went away. But I think McDaniel did point that out as one of his weaknesses, his time management, and that he abandoned the run too quick. So I hope you're right there, that he's learned from that, Doc, and that he's ready, to not go away from it so quick. Because like you said, we were a decent running team, and it's like the Buffalo game up there. I go back to that game in the regular season. Mostert was killing them, and then just for whatever reason, it's like they forgot about that and just went away from it. It's crazy. Anyway, Anthony has kind of a school-related question for you. Doc, how do in your teacher set up lesson plans that kids in your middle school that are doing middle school football that are getting recruited by these big-time private schools? Do you have that going on in Texas like we do in
Oh, man. Of course. I mean, they recruiting everywhere. One is, I want kids to have the best experience that they can have, right? And that's the first thing, without being selfish about where to go, right? But I think that the issue for these kids now is the relationships. For me, my kids like coming to my school because I know every one of them. It's 1,334, but I talk to 1,334 kids.
Wow, that's great, man.
They know the principal. They know I care about them. When it comes to the teacher lesson plans, for me, it's I believe in my teachers. I'm not a micromanager. Nobody likes that. And so as long as when I come into classes, which I'm not a principal that's in my office, I would die if I had to sit in that office all day. I'm in the building, I'm stopping in classes. And so as long as I see my teachers teaching and I monitor more of grades and what's going on and our kids passing, our kids being successful, and that helps me, to kind of know. Plus, and I don't want to get too deep in the woods, but we have PLCs here where the teachers once a week go and plan together. So I go into those planning meetings. So I don't care about a lesson plan because I see the planning that's going on.
Okay. Right. So that's good. So then when you do, what do parents think though when their kids getting recruited by like a big private school? Do they come and ask you questions because they know you not only are a principal, but you have a football background too?
Yes. So I will tell you that I don't give people advice. I give them options. I let them know what their options are and the pros and cons of both. There are some pros and cons to both of them. I mean, we cannot say that going to a private school is just this horrible thing. There are some pros to it. Ultimately, it comes down to, as a kid who went from the hood in Miami to a HBCU to the NFL, I believe that no matter where you are, if you work hard, you do the right things, they'll find you.
That's right.
So I'm not. I advocate for public schools because you don't have to go to a private school. And
I know that's why so many of the kids down here do the same thing, because the Joe Bro shows talks about how all these schools are. But like St. Thomas is just a powerhouse down here. They just keep on recruiting out, and they get all these kids, and it kind of hurts public schools because that used to be powerhouses because they take so much of their talent. But but it's amazing though, because I know Texas, Florida, California, these are all like hotbeds for
big time.
Yeah, they're all hotbeds for the college prospects and stuff. So
I just believe, if it's better for you to go to a private school, then go. But I don't see it as any different. My high school, Miami Central, what can you say about Central? 6-time state where we're on
they're still they're
we're on our 4P. So you can go to public school and get exactly what you need. You just have to find one that has people who care about kids, man, and that's what it comes down to. Everything of itself.
No, that's it. Well, guys, you can go, Justin, because it's almost time to wrap up our show.
Yes, sir.
What were you going to say, Justin?
You got to find principal in a school like that has a principal like Reggie, like he just said, who cares about kids and was given to a public service like Reggie is, because he's doing it the right way. He actually cares and puts in the time talking to every one of those kids who knows who he is. Like, if I went to school and Reggie was my principal, I'd just be bragging about it. Like, Reggie's my principal.
That's great, principal. Man.
Like, that's dope.
No, to me, that's great to have a principal like that, because I can tell you most of the schools I went to, the principal wouldn't even know my name at all.
Yeah, he cares though, and that's but
which is good, because the kids that got in trouble knew, or maybe the super honored kids he knew, but the kids that was just in the middle of the pack like me, that he didn't know them.
All of them.
So I was never really in trouble, but I wasn't a super smart student getting honors either. So I was just like, like most kids, just in that herd of everyone else, And
those kids need it just as much as the kids at the end of the spectrum. And those are the kids, unfortunately, it's the extremists in society that everybody pays attention to, right? No matter what you're doing, the extremists are running this country, and the people in the middle who just average Joe Blows, just trying to make it, getting lost and jacked up. So those are the kids that I advocate for a lot, because I was in that group. I wasn't a trouble kid. I wasn't the smartest one. I was just a guy who wanted to try to do the right things,
Right. Yeah, nope, exactly. Well, with that, Reggie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for joining us,
being a great principal. Enjoy your kind of time off. And, not really time off, but no kids at the school. So enjoy that. Have a safe Memorial Day, whatever you guys go do today. Try to avoid the big crowds.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it, man. Justin,
that like button. Don't forget, tell a friend about my guys.
Yeah, thank you, Reggie. Chatter. And tell Reggie, tell your people, and I'll come in some of your spaces and try to drum up my business and and tell them about Dolphin Thirsty.
For sure, Rob. Let's do it, man. Come on.
All right.
Keep it up. That's how you get moving. People know you, know your kind. Check it out, man. We'll do that for sure. We'll pump you.
Absolutely. All right, sounds good, Reggie. And again, thank you guys. And fins up, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Deuces, man. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, man, he knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins.